for yourself. You got little nuggets.
All right. We're going to go there right away.
That could mean a lot of things, actually, which is awesome.
Chick-fil-A.
You guys have similar genetics. And by that, I mean like the basically exact same. Yeah. Holy crap. I said that thinking brothers, but then also you're twins. So I am correct. That was awesome. All right.
We're just picking up on that?
Yeah, really?
No, oh, no, everybody.
Oh, here we go.
I'm slow today.
This is Ryan speaking, everyone. And I apologize in advance because me and my identical twin brother have been told that we have the exact same voice. So if you're audio only, you're going to have a little bit of an adjustment period trying to figure out who's talking. So I'll just go ahead and tell you the more intelligent sounding one, that's me. The other one, that's my brother.
He's prone to lies, ladies and gentlemen. Don't listen to him.
Not all the time, no. Sometimes, occasionally.
So you know what I realized tonight? When you make a meal that's really healthy and you're proud of it, then like after you finish it, like an hour later, what do you want to do? You just want to eat something.
You want your third portion of it?
1,000%. Yeah. That was the dilemma that hit me right before I left here. It was like, what? I feel like a mouse scavenging for crumbs in a house. You know, what do I want to eat? What do I want to eat?
This close to texting you if we got our nights mixed up, because usually, you're right on time. But anyway, not too late. It's all good. And I was able to take this dork home, picked him up on my way home from work, and we took the little man around and played all afternoon. And it's been a pretty good day hanging out with my little brother here.
Oh, here we go. I mean, in spite of that, which is the oldest insult in the book, it was a very nice day. You picked me up. I got some quality time with the little one. And now I'm here with you two fools, but I am happy to be here. So
it was a year time coming because we're rounding on that corner sooner rather than later. It's good to have you here, bro. All right. Let's get after it. I say that now at home, and my kids are picking it up. So when we go to do something, Charlotte and Joseph are saying, "Let's get after it."
Let's get after it,
which is awesome.
That's pretty cool.
I'm really enjoying it, actually.
Nice. I think we've been talking about this race forever. We do need to update everyone.
Sure. Okay.
We finished under 2 hours, both of us. Actually, both of us finished under the 150, which is right where we wanted to. So actually, that was kind of my lofty goal. So
you realize that's like a psycho trait, right? The fact that you two both finished under 2 hours.
If you're
our video folks, take a look now. Our family surprised us with some awesome signs. They're pretty cool. I will attempt to keep it for as long as I can. The goal will be just to scratch out the 6 and put a 7 next year, but my son easily could set this ablaze. So we'll find out.
Yeah.
But
we had this whole plan that our families were going to be at like the 5 mile mark, right? And so obviously, like first time half marathoners, we started way too fast.
Came out guns blazing.
Way too fast. And so we get to the 5 mile mark earlier than they anticipated. And so we're about at the halfway point of the race, and thankfully, beautifully, they had found another spot, and that was a really good moment for us to pick our spirits up. But funny thing is, Alex's beautiful wife hands out this cup.
Yeah, we each got one. Yeah,
I'm thinking it's Gatorade, and I hammer it to the face. It's just straight pickle juice.
Pickle juice
Took me off guard for a second, but
pickle juice is an elite supplement, first of all. But yeah, it definitely went down a little different than Gatorade does, for sure. Yeah,
but it was a beautiful day. It was an extremely difficult last few miles for me. What do you think?
Well, the first time our families saw us, my family told me after, Alex, you didn't really look like you were having that much fun. I said, well, I wasn't. It was a good mixture of fun and suffering, as any Lenten activity should be. Good thing to offer up. But we did it. Like many probably saw in a little post, Ryan challenged me, invited me, and got me there. He did beat me, it's true, but I'm just going to say I'm the newbie here, so give Ryan the credit where it's due. Beat me by a solid 3 to 4 minutes. I forget what exactly. We both got the sub 2 hours, rocked and rolled, onward march. It was a great experience. The longest
Really
run of our lives.
And we'll probably do it again next year because we're gluttons for punishment.
That's correct.
Anyway, I think it's probably about time we hear from our guests. Sorry, guys.
Who are you?
I'm pretty similar to that guy over there.
Well, you know the drill by now. You're a decent fan. I'll give you that. You listened to a couple of our episodes by now.
If there's time.
So you got the floor, dude. Intro. Not everybody listened to my first intro on our first episode of this adventure here. So as long as you need, who are you? Where have you been in life? And how'd you get to be sitting across from these two fools?
Okay, I'm Sean Milana. I am that wonderful man's better looking half, But yeah, I came down to Auburn for school, graduated in 14 with a social studies degree and 17 with a school counseling master's degree. Went back up to New Jersey, worked from about 2018 to 20. And then when COVID shut the Northeast down, I was on the phone with you actually, and you told me that the South was pretty open. So it seemed like a pretty good time to relocate. Came back down here, and I've been here ever since, and been getting involved more with church, and that's, like you said, I'm a decent fan of the show, so thanks for having me, and I'm honored to be here. That was probably a very short intro, but I'm sure we'll get further into things.
Absolutely, brother. Get into a lot more. All right. Well, okay. I can't ask you your first impression of Ryan because you guys shared the womb and then everything else basically for your entire lives. So we're going to skip that. We're not going to give anybody that many intimate details. So you get to give your first impression of this guy right here.
It's funny. I knowing this was coming, I was trying to think back, and I can't really pinpoint the exact time or moment we met, but I can remember when I first met you, it was very easy to quickly realize that I'm going to like this guy. I have some walls up when I first meet people, and I guess you're very happy. Yeah, sound familiar?
It sure does.
You're very happy. I'm going to go meet people, welcoming spirit kind of brought that wall down. I had heard of you through Ryan, of course. And if you have any blanks to fill in terms of where we exactly met, feel free. But yeah, I guess how I'll wrap it up is just I knew right away that you were a good guy. And then, of course, meeting Lucy and your family, I could definitely see that was the truth. And especially since you tolerate that one over there so well. So kudos to you.
I'm a whisperer of some people.
Yeah, whisperer trap. Sean and I had the same first impression of Alex, outgoing, blah, blah, blah. Sean took it in stride. I was like, I don't know if I like this. Well, he's too nice. Something's going to be all right.
Get it. I would imagine we probably met in the vestibule. It had to have been, I would think. But, and it's like the first time you see each other, you're just kind of both standing there. Mutual people are talking to people. We're not talking to each other. And then it just kind of grows from the introduction happens. Yeah. You start chatting, so on and so forth.
And then it takes you 45 minutes to leave mess.
Absolutely. Yeah. Which is great because then the parking lot's empty and you just cruise right on out of there.
No blood pressure going up on the way out.
Zero.
There's a method to the madness.
Uh-huh.
There you go.
Yep. I personally thought when I met you that you didn't have as much walls up as your twin brother did. Shocker.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
No. And
he's less
very, 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 very chill. Very, very chill. Sean's a very chill guy. And through knowing Ryan and Tess and then meeting y'all's parents as well too. And there are certain friends you have that you feel like you do, in a way, in some outside way, you're part of the family in a way. So like through meeting you, it was just like, this is another family member with a family whom I love. And that was very easy to have you step into this circle and me feel like I'm, now a friend of this larger circle also. I've always appreciated y'all's family very, very much for a lot of reasons.
That means a lot. Yeah, I definitely would kind of echo that. Kind of a natural chemistry fit, whatever word you want to use. But yeah, I mean, obviously it stuck. So
yes, sir.
Yeah.
Good. All right. I mentioned it, so you guys need to tell me a great brother story from childhood. Give me something entertaining, witty.
Please
Give me something maybe the parents don't know. I don't know.
If anyone was wondering, a couple episodes ago when I talked about someone getting angry and throwing a remote.
Oh yes,
I knew this was great.
There was this guy right here. I'll save that story though. There's too many of those stories.
Sadly, he's right.
No, Sean and I think we shared a room until we were.
I know the story he's gonna tell.
Do you? I can't wait to see. We shared a room until we were like, I think around 13, and then we had our own rooms in a brief stay at one house that we lived in. And then once we moved out of that home, we were back to sharing a room. So yeah, it's a miracle we didn't kill each other. my older brother, actually, one of his favorite pastime jokes is like joke about the ways we've been trying to kill Sean all these years.
Oh my god.
Oh yeah. And we actually haven't been. It's okay. Don't worry, guys. But funny jokes. It's all fun and games.
Sure. Yeah.
So anyway, we used to be huge wrestling fans. That was the story you were thinking
That was
of?
not the story, but that's an even better story. So go ahead.
So we used to be huge wrestling fans. I think Dad had a hookup through the state police that would get us tickets to different events and things. This was back in the Attitude Era. If you're a listener and you're going, wrestling sucks, it didn't when it was Stone Cold and The Rock and The Undertaker and you name it. All those guys, just epic. So we had the t-shirts and the fake title belts and the action figures and all of it. And eventually video games, you tell me. But we also had this very unique room back in the day where our bedroom that we shared had this long hallway with library shelves on one side, opened up into our bedroom. And then behind our dresser had a staircase that went up to a finished attic. And we what else would you do up there except wrestling moves? So we put a mattress on the floor and we would just do all kinds of stuff. We'd even jump off the staircase down onto my bed, just doing like flips and stuff like that. Sean didn't.
I was going to say, I did not do that.
How many feet you're talking of a drop? Any guess?
It's probably a good 10 feet.
Oh yeah, it's solid.
Jumping down.
That's solid.
The Swanton bomb was Jeff Hardy. I don't know.
Onto a waterbed.
Waterbeds, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh really?
We were so weird because our entire family had waterbeds. like that's some weird stuff.
It is a little weird. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, everyone.
I love it though. I'm here for it. All
Sean
right.
and I had the free flowing ones, and they had a heater on it. I always unplugged my bed. I wanted it as cold as possible.
Okay, got it.
But like my mom and dad had the one that's like slightly less, more viscous.
Yes. Love it. Science, boom.
Anyway, we're up there one day, and my brother's gonna do a power bomb, and I'm the lucky one that wants to do a power. It gets to be power bombed, and so my older brother, strong as an ox, still is, flips me up on his shoulder, and Sean's like, double power bomb. And as my older brother, goes to slam me down, instead of Sean, like a normal double power bomb, pulling me down,
as if a double power bomb's normal,
this SOB pushes out, and instead of me landing on the soft mattress like I had 100 times. They slammed me onto a hardwood floor, as hard as I could get.
Nice.
Head bounced off and everything.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's fun. Sean fell out a second story window one time. That's a good one. Just sat up there, fell off, and My older brother ran down the stairs, was like, "Mommy, Sean's hurt." She's like, "He's fine." He's like, "No, no, no, no. He's hurt."
What
I
happened?
got hurt a lot, so when mom heard I'm hurt, she didn't really flinch too much, but
Check.
that was a more serious instance.
What injury was from that?
I don't
Honestly,
remember.
it was
That's great.
fine. Yeah, it was kind of a crazy, like,
You
nine
bounced.
lives
Yeah,
incident.
mom said apparently I landed on one of those like exercise balls that was apparently on the deck. I don't know.
Which every time I hear that, I'm like, that just sounds like it
It
hurts.
sounds
It does.
impossible, but I don't know.
Sounds like something out of a cartoon or something.
Yeah,
That's great stuff.
we have plenty of stories. What were you thinking I was gonna say?
I was thinking you were gonna say I was gonna follow up with this one if you didn't, but the one time I was taking a nap and you army crawled down that long hallway, he knows, and my foot was hanging off the bed,
Okay.
and he decided to quietly grab my foot, and I came out of my bed so scared.
Dude, it was like right
Uh,
when The Ring and
Oh yeah.
all those
The
big
Grudge. Oh yeah, man.
movies.
Get into it.
So
Yep.
I literally silently crawled, and this hallway was what, like 30 feet
It
long.
was legit. Yeah.
And I snuck up and reached up and grabbed his foot in the pitch dark, and I was like, ah, and he just lost his marbles. So that was a good time.
That is an awesome.
You
time.
also remember when I quote unquote punched you in the face in high school?
Yeah, and we reminisce on stories all the
Yeah.
time. But there was at one point, you tell it, I don't even remember how that came up.
I was faking a punch, and I happened to
But he landed it.
I happened to graze your face.
The exact same thing happened to me with my cousin, who's like my brother. He full cocked me right in the middle of my nose.
Yeah.
It was awesome.
He says graze. He hit me pretty square in the jaw,
I did not.
and I proceeded to chase his rear end around our entire high school to try to kill him. Like, I was
He
ready
did.
to throw down. So
I bet you were.
I was a very emotional child. But anyway,
All right, gentlemen. What is the most meaningful thing? One thing that you have done for the other one. So Sean, Ryan for you, and Ryan, Sean for you.
You want to take it first? Who's going?
Take a second to think.
Sean's the godfather for my son. I think at this point in my life, that's probably the most significant, and he's done a whole lot for me. Always has, and continues to. Sorry, you're on the hook for that. But I knew when I chose. You're very similar in the way that you choose godparents. Like you don't just choose a friend. It's got to be someone who takes that seriously, takes faith seriously, is going to take it upon themselves to enhance and further that godchild's relationship with Christ. So asking Sean was a no-brainer, and haven't regretted that once. He's been awesome. He like great gifts and praying for my son and all this other stuff. So yeah, I think that was a pretty easy answer for me, just in this season of life.
Yeah, that is definitely one of the greatest honors of my life. So I thank you again for that. Thank you to Tess as well. But yeah, I think staying on your kind of this walk and stage of life, I consider you a great role model for faith. You've become our relationship has certainly evolved over the years, and I'm sure we'll talk about that more tonight. But I at the beginning of Lent, who did I call? I called you because I wanted to make sure that I was on the right track, and if there was anything I wanted to add, or you're always there to challenge me and make me think about things that maybe I don't think about. And it didn't always come off that way. I think before I was more open to faith, I kind of was a little put off by it, but I wouldn't change it for the world now. And I definitely appreciate your push.
Yeah, it's funny when a family like goes from. I'm not talking on my family at all, but it's like
Mhm.
we went from I don't even really think for a long time we weren't even really Christmas and Easter family. Like we did go through a spell of like I know at least personally, I don't remember going to church every Christmas.
No, I mean, I remember Christmas and Easter, but I certainly would echo that
Yeah.
it was kind of
I could be
always
totally wrong, but to go from like not caring and then all of a sudden like a switch went off, I'm hitting up my family members like been going to church, this, that, and the other. It yeah, you can get some looks.
well, I think mom and dad, to their credit, they never I mean, they certainly took us to church, but when we got to that kind of rebellious teenager high school, they let us find it.
Mm.
Um, and it took some of us longer than others, but faith is an individual journey. So yeah, I agree with some of what you said, but
Yeah.
So talk about that, brother. Tell us a little bit about your individual journey, Sean. When you don't have to give us every single chapter, but essentially, what I really, really for sure want to make sure you include is just like, you know, where you were you before the turning point, and what was the turning point, and kind of where has it gone since? I'd love to hear it.
sure. I'm trying to think of where to start.
Wherever you want.
So in grammar school, I was, uh, you had religion in a Catholic school, and
Mm.
I guess this is where I'll start. So we did a living stations in 8th grade. Ryan knows what's coming. And I had told my social studies teacher, who was heading the whole thing, we were told to write some kind of essay for what role we wanted. And I didn't want any role at first. And he said, like, why don't you write for Jesus? And I kind of laughed at him. I was like, yeah, I don't think so. But I wrote it, or he asked me why I didn't want to write it. And I said, I don't think I'm worthy to play Jesus. And as soon as I said that, he said, okay, you're in. So that was kind of my first, looking back on it now, that was a significant kind of first step for me.
I love this
Um,
teacher.
yeah, Mr. Sapansky, social studies teacher. Yeah.
Right on.
Um,
He was a quirky guy.
yeah.
He didn't bother asking me to be in the season. He knew I was saying no, no matter what.
But then that kind of piggybacked into high school, and I was in campus ministry quite a bit. Um, took some We took religion every year, but uh, got involved in Emmanuel in high school, and then Kairos as well was our junior senior
Mhm.
retreat,
Mhm.
and we had my older brother Kyle had led Emmanuel one year. That was very moving for me. Ryan led it, and that was also a powerful moment for me, to hear his thoughts. And I was able to lead Kairos, which was really special. Um, and then college, I kind of lost my faith a little bit. It was a tougher time for me. I was very isolated, homesick. Um, Kind of went to school, came back, did the same thing every day. I lived off campus with my cousin and my older brother. Ryan at the time was at Alabama. Thank you for transferring.
No
Um,
doubt, my guy.
and that's not just an Alabama dig. That's just, I've always done better when you're around. So
It
thank you.
is still an Alabama day, though.
Well, yeah,
Yeah,
naturally.
that place sucks.
But yeah, so I went on a Ponte retreat my freshman year
Okay.
because I wanted to try to stay involved, but I wasn't ready at that point. It kind of scared me further away,
Hmm.
to hear people that were secure in their faith and on fire for it. I wasn't at that point. So I went from, oh, I'll give it a try, to not really.
Why do y'all think that is, that people react that way, you know? What do you think? Is it just like you see that and maybe just seeing someone so secure makes you realize how insecure you are? You think that's it, or you think it's something else? Because I've had definitely similar situations like that for sure, Sean. You're not alone there by far. I can identify with that emotion. But any thoughts there, y'all?
I don't know. It would almost be an easier answer for me if I were to tell you, yeah, I was insecure. I don't know if that was it.
Okay,
I kind of just like they were talking about things like, the army of God getting ready for battle. And I kind of just looked at them like, what are you talking about? Like now I look back at a speech like that and I'm like, okay, I can understand that.
gotcha.
I think back to putting on the armor of God,
Hmm.
and I get that now. But little old me, freshman me, I just like, no, I'm sorry.
I get that. I
Yeah.
do.
Well, how much of it, Alex, do you think is like Mr. Judgmental at that stage? If you just, oh, these people are so dumb. Like,
Mm,
it's not that serious. They're taking this way too far. So, like, to me, I don't necessarily think it's from a point of insecurity. I would have approached it more of just a point of judgment. Like,
yeah,
because I was not there, I believed naively and selfishly that anybody who was further along in that journey must just be blowing it out of proportion or just
yeah.
ridiculous.
I think that we all. And I'm paraphrasing something I've kind of heard before, and I'm going to add on to it. We all have like a furnace inside of us that God wants to stoke like every day with grace and sacraments and his will. But you have to like leave the furnace door open essentially and be open to receiving those graces. Um, as soon as you just open the door and you're open to it, I think you'll react the right way. You'll react a totally different way. But if the door is closed and you're not willing to receive anything, then yeah, you're just gonna judge and you're gonna back away. For me and my personal journey, the reason the door was closed was because I knew if I was open to it, if I was really going to be a disciple, then I was going to have to change my life in ways that I didn't want to. And that's kind of what I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think Ryan probably answered it pretty. That was pretty accurate for how I felt back
Gotcha.
then. I wasn't there, and I thought everybody that was there was weird.
You basically assume it's like, what is this, a cult? Like, I'm out of here.
Yeah,
Got it.
Just
sadly, yeah.
get it away from me. I don't. And I like what you said. Like, in order to accept what they're saying, I have to change so much about who and what I'm doing
Hmm.
that it's just not worth the effort. So just leave it
Yeah.
alone.
I
So
understand that. So, Point Vino, continue, brother. Where you at?
Um, yeah. So I mean, college, I kind of I didn't find it until after I left Auburn. I credit my mother and my grandmother, my mom, for kind of getting me back in church. I went back to New Jersey after college and I worked at my old high school, which is Catholic.
Okay.
And that kind of got me back in the environment a little bit. Um, went to church with the school, but certainly started to go back on Sundays and see the value in the gospel and just kind of the changes, the positive changes that were coming when I went back to church. So it just that's how it started, just going back to church. And then coming back down here in 2020, going into St. Michael's, it kind of grew from there. Coming up to kind of more recent times, the Acts retreat's been huge for me. Um, I love to be involved in that. It was a kind of a life changing, kind of reaffirming experience. I'm on the right path. Opened up a lot of things in my faith journey, praying to the saints and really taking the time to pray more and um, just find wisdom in things that aren't so earthly. Um, so yeah, I'm trying to stay involved in the Acts apostolate. Any men out there, April 30 to May 3rd, sign up. Shameless plug, but
I got the dates wrong on our last episode, so Alex had to correct me, but you did much better. I do want to just backtrack a little bit. because this is a journey that number of our listeners can identify with. I know I can as well. Alex had a better track record with mass attendance, but also had his moments in college and stuff like a lot of us did. When you started, so you said you started working at our old high school and that got you back, and then you started going every Sunday. Like how long were you an every Sunday goer again, every Sunday attendee again, before you finally were like, wait, I need to go to confession?
That's a good question. Because I still had, I think because it had been so long since I've been to confession, I still had this aversion to it.
Sure.
And I know our listeners, y'all's listeners some can identify with that. I knew I needed to go, but I was embarrassed. I felt judged, which I know is not the case. But so it was probably, I don't recall going to confession in New Jersey. I went to confession probably a couple of, I might get this date wrong, but probably a couple of nights ago, to be honest, when I was down here. And I just, like, that was a long confession, and when you don't go for a while, they can be that way. And it was
Word.
just, that was one where it hit me heavy. Like I came out crying while I was doing my penance. And yeah, so there's a difference between going to church every Sunday and being a truly practicing, sacramental living kind of Catholic. And it took me a while to get there.
No, I feel that, brother, for sure. You're absolutely right.
Yeah, I know when Tess and I started going, it was kind of similar. Like we were down here and she was the push that I needed. So I don't know if we waited like an absorbent amount of time, but I should have gone like as soon as I stepped back into the
Yeah,
church.
same. Yeah.
We have some brothers that we've spoken to at different meetings for the Acts stuff that have made these returns to church, and it's always a question I want to ask, like because I would imagine it's less common that as soon as you step back in, you recognize the need for the clean slate of confession and the grace and the mercy moving forward. So yeah, but um,
And I'm thinking now, it probably took me like, okay, let me do some quick math. 3 or 4 months
of
of
going
going
back to things.
consistently. Yeah,
Yeah.
to go. Yeah, 3 or 4 months, probably about 4. Yeah.
Well, it's also something like I can speak personally. I don't want to generalize everybody's experience, but I blessed enough to go to Catholic school, which all three of us were,
Mhm.
and thankful for every bit of that. Even though I wasn't always super attentive to the benefits that would provide me in my life, but um, I don't believe I was really taught the absolute necessity of confession. You receive your first confession, you go in, you have the sacrament of reconciliation. It's a big moment when you're little. We were in second grade, as I'm pretty sure they still
Sure.
do second
Hmm.
grade.
Hmm.
Um, at that age, never truly wrap your head around like the
The awesomeness of it, really.
truly the
Yeah.
gravity of it. It's
Yeah.
just like holy smokes. Nowadays, you leave a confessional, and it's just like you do want to leave in tears. I don't because unlike you two gentlemen, I don't cry all the time.
I
Oh
was
my
good this last one, Ash Wednesday. All good. Yeah.
um, but no, it's something that I would guess a lot of men growing up through the Catholic Church, cradle Catholic specifically, just don't really understand how big of a thing it is. It's more like, I mean, how many confessions I probably did when I was in high school that I was like, I'm not confessing that I did something bad, like you said, that would embarrass me to say in front of a priest. And then years later, I realized, holy crap, dude, how many negligent confessions have you had, right?
Sure. Sure.
Anyway, I'm off on a tangent, but
Yep. Well, I think that kind of building on this in a different way, um, it's easy for all three of us now to talk about our faith and get very riled up for it, very gung ho, very excited about it because we've had these moments and then we have these relationships and then we've had these experiences. But like in Catholic school, they're teaching you a lot of things, but they don't teach you that, how to get excited about it and riled up. Like you have a very special teacher or priest or pastor who can really do that efficiently. That is something that definitely at home is that's where you're going to learn that. So that's something that I really try to take seriously. Like talk about Jesus with this like vigor and excitement. Like, oh yeah, we're watching on a football game, but no, like Jesus walked on water with Peter. Like that's way cooler. That's
Yeah.
Something about Lucy and I were just literally talking an hour ago before I left to come here. That Bible study some girls do, the readings and reflections. It's for women also. I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's walking with purpose, I believe. Yes, but
That sounds right.
yeah. Sorry, ladies. Lucy asked me a question about, hey, what do you think of this? This was a question that they asked in reflections, and my wife is very like, rigid is not the right word. My wife is not rigid. She's very about like fairness and justice, and she's analytical, that kind of way. So she wanted my take on the question, but it was essentially talking about how Saint Hippolytus back in the day wrote from sacred tradition parts of the mass and the liturgy, and it was like the lines that we all know, lift up your hearts, we lift them up to the Lord, like that whole section of sayings that we say and respond with the priest. And the question was, what does that make you feel? Like, how do you respond to hearing that? And she was, kind of like, what do you think? I think she was reading it into it more of like, what does this mean? But I was more like, do you realize that like we say those same words today? And he was writing about that in the ancient church, the early church. Like we say the same things they say. It just goes to show, like, you do your research, like the Catholic Church, it's the one, it's been there. Like the tradition is there, the readings are there, the words are there, the sacraments are there. It's incredible. And like, that's something to get really excited about, and getting excited about that, just like you can get excited about a good confession or, the Eucharist. I mean, my goodness, anything. It's, one, I think it's fun. Two, it's, well, it's like what us Catholics say, it's, all that is good and beautiful. That's what it is. Yeah. So I don't know. That's my tangent. Any thoughts there?
I mean, I like I'm to the point now in my faith and particularly confession where if I mess up, I go,
Mm-hmm.
which is a blessing. And I think mass has become much more beautiful for me recently. Like you said, the words, like if you really take the time to listen to the words, and I feel like at times you get in a rut where mass just, at least this is personally, sometimes it happens for me where
Mm-hmm.
mass just kind of goes by and I don't hear the words, but if you truly listen to them, it's beautiful and it is universal. Like you can be anywhere and not know the language, and you know exactly what part of the mass is being said. You can still participate in the body of Christ anywhere, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah, I definitely have in my life had moments of like, especially that example you just brought up, Alex, too, of like, we lift them up to the Lord. How many times I just said that? Because that's what everybody is supposed to say at that moment instead of actually presenting up my heart
Mm-hmm.
to the Lord.
Right. Trying to lift. Yes. Mm-hmm.
But I've done some reading and probably not enough. There's never enough learning to do in our church. Um, but to do it as deep a dive as you can on what each part of the mass actually truly means, like all the way down to the root of where it comes from, like you and Lucy were
Mm-hmm.
talking about, the significance of it. it does immediately make you realize that what you're doing there, what you're witnessing there is a miracle every single Sunday. That doesn't mean every time I drop down to a knee to receive the Eucharist that I'm looking at, Jesus's face in the bread.
Of course. Yeah.
Obviously. But it is super moving how many times now I'll receive the Eucharist and I get back and I might not even have the words of a prayer to spout out in my head, but I'll just sit there in gratitude.
Mm-hmm.
And you get that overwhelming sense of peace and grace inside. And a lot of times, like I've mentioned before, like I'm wrestling my son who wants a veggie straw and to tear the sticker off the pew with the QR code for donation.
They do love to tear that thing off, man.
Holy smokes. But at the same time, it's like, I know what I just received, everyone in the world needs.
Yeah,
absolutely.
I just did it.
Can save the world.
He just gave this to us. So, yeah, the rut, you mentioned the word rut. Like, if you find yourself in that rut of sort of letting mass feel monotonous and like, okay, it's almost been an hour, it's almost time to go, or hurry up and clean the altar, Father Gabe. Like, love you, Father Gabe. You do take longer than my senior, though. I don't think it's a bad thing. I take the extra time to pray. I'm not crapping on Father Gabe. Father Gabe's going to come in this garage soon, and I will say this to him, and hopefully get a laugh. He might kick me from under the table or whatever. But no, it's a challenge to anybody that thinks like, hey, we need to get out of here. We've been here too long. I'm tired of sitting here. Like, you have to change that. Because I was that person for so long. And it's just, you're not there for the right reasons. You're not taking it seriously enough if that's where you find yourself.
Yeah, and I think back, if I can add one more thing, when we're kneeling, when you say, "I'm not worthy that you should enter under this roof." How many times have I just said that? But how true is that? None of us are worthy that we receive Jesus every Sunday. Yeah. None of us. I mean,
do y'all picture the scene in The Chosen whenever?
Oh, absolutely.
You say that?
Yeah.
So that is my second favorite story from the Gospels. And I always like to, because it's been displayed in movies and like in art so many different ways. So to see their take on it was really cool. I love the character arc is awesome that they do with guys. But that whole situation, like a Roman centurion coming and saying that, and that guy's words are echoed in eternity now. Every single mass, ever. Like he never would have thought that when he was alive, But every day, thousands of times, his words are said in every mass. I mean, if I want to be remembered for something, it doesn't get much better than that. I mean, my goodness, that's incredible.
But we have a podcast, Alex.
Come on.
Oh yeah. Sorry, y'all.
Yeah, that is a scene, and I like Sean mentioned, I take those words more seriously now too. It's just the way our mass is, man. It's meant to be moving. It's meant to mean the world because I can't remember which priest. We've had beautiful priests, still do, that was talking about like that veil between heaven and earth at mass. Like you don't see it, but the angels are filling the rafters.
Yeah. Well, it's like if you take the zipper and you just open it a little bit and that veil is open. Yeah, that's every mass. Yeah. Which is beyond my tiny brain's comprehension, to be honest.
No, but next time the priest is saying the words of consecration and everything, and you imagine that, you're gonna be like, "Oh, snap!"
I do like to imagine the angels there. Yeah, and it's pretty cool.
It is really cool.
Sean, I want to ask you, and I'm sure we'll all have little things to chime in, but I think we've talked about some good positive stuff. We've built each other up, but what are the one or two things right now, and maybe even just have been long-term, struggles? Like what challenges you, pulls you away from the faith right now? What are those kind of shadows sometimes?
Yeah. Yeah, I think two things really come to my mind. One is lust. I've struggled with it. God's been good. I'm in a good place now, but that's pulled me away in the past. And the other is comparison. Comparison will kill you. I mean, it can be positive, but in terms of pulling me away from the faith, I look, I compare myself to my brothers. I always have, and I at times in my faith journey, I haven't felt like I have measured up or done enough, and that's kind of trickled down to confession about how I felt embarrassed and reluctant to go. Um, I don't know. I feel like I would never. I mean, we never know enough about our faith. That's a beautiful thing about it. You can always learn more. But I don't feel like I know enough. Um, my Bible probably should get a lot more use. I mean, Hallow certainly helps, but I need to open that thing up a lot more. So, I look around to a lot of people around me, people I love too, people who would never judge me
Hmm.
ever. And I say, oh, I'm not good enough. I'm not doing enough compared to whoever. Um, so yeah, those things have really, they've impacted my openness, I guess you could say, to the faith. But that's the beauty of the sacraments too. When I do reach the point where I get myself in the confessional and receive the Eucharist in a state of grace, it's certainly a nice, poignant reminder that none of us are on the perfect path
Hmm.
except for Christ. So, yeah, I don't know if that answers your question, but
Sure. Yeah. Um, we've talked about lust here a handful of times, and I don't need any nitty-gritty details. I'm not asking for it all, but just to make this point, um, you know, how old were you, man? How long?
oh, probably 11,
Yeah, like most of
something
us,
like that.
I
Yeah,
mean, absolutely. Yeah, for sure.
yeah,
For sure. Yeah. And you're all far from alone, folks. It's you know, we've us three have been in some rooms together with some people and had some very honest conversations, and you know, it's one of the biggest things in the world today,
Well, and it
for sure.
plagues the entire spectrum of age, of race, of ethnicity. That one's just awful. And these screen cell phones, the smartphones that we have, are just the spark that was needed for that to light up. But it's just not something that seems to go away. It's easy to think about, like when you think about lust, like, oh well, that person is, that person has grandchildren and is married, and surely they don't have any problem with that. It's like they might.
Hmm.
That
Oh yeah,
thing
sure.
gets his claws in and doesn't let go. But the comparison one is very strong too. I think everybody's probably done it to some degree. Of It's a fine line of, like, I think I like what you said. Comparison can be healthy in a sense of, like, okay, that person might be doing X, Y, and Z, and I can tell it's beneficial. I want to emulate that. Um, but when it becomes like an envious state, that's when it's
yeah. That's when it kind of
Mm,
becomes insidious, and
sure.
yeah,
But I can't remember what saint said it. It might have been Mother Teresa. I don't remember, but comparison is the thief of joy. So
mm,
that's kind of one I always think about for sure. But that's a lot easier said than done too. Just not a, oh, I won't do it. We're all fallen humans. Um, my brother, how have you combated that one in particular? You mentioned the sacraments, of course, but has there been anything, practically, behavior wise, what was, tell me
yeah.
about that.
So, prayer is
Yeah.
huge. I went to confession with Father Gabe. Another shout out for Father Gabe. He's really a great confessor, challenging confessor, but a great one. Um, he gave me a couple of saints to lean on.
Okay.
Saint Mary of Egypt, and I believe Saint. He's gonna be mad that I forgot. Uh, Saint Lucy, actually,
Oh,
I
right on.
think was the last the other one. So
Got
I prayed to them. I've certainly definitely been leaning on the Rosary, Our
Mhm.
Lady, a lot more. Um, even if it's not a rosary, even if it's just a Hail Mary, um, you kind of say it, and that kind of goes away a little bit, dissipates, and you're able to, get up and do something else, or turn the TV off and get away from the near occasion of sin.
Mhm.
So prayer is a big one in terms of combating that. Um, yeah,
Right on.
certainly.
And prayer holds this world together, man. So, you're consistently praying for others, praying for the world, praying for all sorts of stuff, you're doing it right, man, for sure.
I imagine prayer is a big spiritual tool to combat comparison. Like, how are you doing with that now at our age? And maybe is it something that you struggled with more before and have kind of come through that, or is it something that still goes on?
That's honestly something that I certainly struggled with it growing up, but it's something that kind of rears its head even today. And it's not, and it, like you said, like comparison can be positive. So I look at what all of my siblings have accomplished, the great fathers and mother that Kelly is, and y'all have had kids, and those are things that I want for my life. And um, at times, I have let the negative get in and kind of pour me a little bit, but I think my devotion to the Divine Mercy has really helped with that. Um, I'm trying to, I am kind of plugging along through St. Faustina's diary. St. Faustina, forgive me, that stuff is over my head a little bit, but yeah, it's ever since my first Acts retreat, she and I kind of connected, and that was the first time I had heard of the Divine Mercy Chaplet, and that's part of my everyday prayer routine. Um, I've also received a story of a soul from Sherelle Blanchard. Shout out to her. I've really enjoyed that. I'm about just over halfway through that.
Mhm.
For those of you who don't know what that is,
That is the autobiography of Saint Therese of Lisieux. Sorry, I thought I had said that. My bad. Um, but it's a beautiful book. It's just I'm only halfway through, and it's a beautiful book. And I'm kind of like I'm reading a chapter, praying along with it. If I have a prayer that comes to my mind, I'll write it in the book. And you know, um, so yeah, I think leaning on the saints has certainly helped, and Our Lady in the Rosary has certainly been an armor to wear. Saint
Mhm.
Michael as well, the Saint Michael prayer. So yeah, prayer has just been a game changer, as it always is. But
yeah,
I've
you have a
definitely,
you have a really solid prayer routine. I'll say that. And you mentioned though, you did just mention first off, Sean's an awesome uncle. He's a funkle for sure. His nephews and soon a niece on the way.
a niece,
Ah.
finally,
Um,
yeah.
Prayers for my sister-in-law and my our older brother. Expecting again. Beautiful, beautiful.
June, right?
That's right. I think
Yep.
in June, as well as now that it's on my mind, I'll just go ahead and say it. One of our listeners, James, he and his wife are expecting a baby girl as well. So keep them in your prayers too. But you mentioned how that those are things that you would want in your life, kids, family, wife, all of it, which is just natural. Obviously, it's kind of the way we're wired. What's your spiritual journey been like? Not having those things yet and trying not to, I don't know, like be spiteful or things like that.
Yeah.
Have you at any point prayed about maybe a different vocation in life? Kind of how has that thought process played out in your life so far?
Sure, sure. So I think a great um antidote to those doubting thoughts are is time with my nephews. I may not be a father yet, but I am an uncle, and I absolutely love being an uncle. You know, half the time, especially with Wiley being the age he is, I'm exhausted at the end of the day because he's running me ragged. I love you, Wiley. Shout out to my sister and James. Love y'all. But yeah, I just like even today getting to the house and playing with Dean and taking a walk with him and just the hugs that he gives me when I walk in the door. Like that's enough for me to say, all right, God, I'm not there yet, but you have me in the position that I'm supposed to be in right now. Um, so yeah, that's a huge positive when even in the waiting period. And you mentioned vocations. I did for a little while consider religious life. I had thought about the priesthood or maybe a brotherhood of some kind, whether it be Jesuit or Benedictine. But when I thought about my ultimate goals in life, and I want a family, so I think I probably could have done a little more exploration down that path, but I certainly feel like I am called to be a father, God willing. And I'm just trying to enjoy the stage of life that I'm in and be there for the people who need me, especially my nephews and soon to be niece, you know?
It is amazing, Sean, how those little ones, the magic in them, I'll tell you
Magic is
that. Yeah, it's a word. Yeah.
no,
We're Catholic, not a cult.
it's
So,
definitely
but
it's magic. It's God's gifts,
yeah.
certainly. But
Mhm.
you know, when I get grouchy and all that, I have to remind myself that it is God in them pushing me to energy that I don't have anymore. So, you know.
I identify with that, brother.
Yeah.
Yes. Um, you feel like you found it sounds like you have at least found some good peace and God's guidance, God's plan for me, and just accepting his will.
I'm working on it. Yeah, I think I definitely have ammunition now that
Hmm.
helps me stay more often than not in a more positive, God-centered thought process. Not every day's perfect, but you know, God's not expecting me to be perfect. Thank God. Wow, a little redundant, but edit that out.
Thank you. That's right.
Yeah,
Yeah, for real.
exactly.
Amen.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. If I may, I'm gonna get silly on this thing for a second.
Get sit.
Get silly. I was hoping someone would say that.
That
That's
it was
right.
I
Ryan.
can't say that's a great song, but it was a banger for like a minute.
A minute,
It was
45 seconds.
I disagree completely. Anyway,
All right. Ryan, if Sean was a saint, who would he be?
If Sean was a saint,
I'm not one, but this should be fun.
His personality fits.
I wish I knew more about more saints. Thomas. Thomas the Apostle.
Love it.
I could see that.
My Lord and my God. It's a great story too.
I see where I kind of see where you're going.
Well,
with that.
just the conversation and things that
Yeah.
you've mentioned, a comparison and sometimes doubt. I think just popped into my head. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
Who is Ryan?
Let's see. I I would I'm leaning towards Saint Benedict simply because you work so hard to provide for your family, and
That's a heavy hitter.
it's a heavy hitter. But yeah, I think he got the shirt on. But I've always admired the way you work so hard to provide for your family, and you take that work and you give God glory by the way you approach it and the way you treat the kids, and
Very
you're
cool.
you're Coach M. So
Who's Alex?
who's Alex? Come on, dude. I had to come up with one for you. I got to do two. All
I
right.
got an answer for Alex. I just want to see what you say. You could go with the softball answer here.
Oh, I know. Yeah, but that's I don't want to make him smile too much.
It's got to come
no.
up at least once an episode.
Saint Ignatius of Loyola. Yeah. He does love retreats, man.
It's my boy. Patron Saint of retreats. It's true.
It's definitely. I'll go with that. You kind of gave me the softball, but I'll go with that.
I'm going with Paul.
Really?
I'm going to say Paul in a sense that you're very knowledgeable. You're always trying to spread the word. You're always looking out for other followers of Christ. Friendship with Alex, man. That's just the way it goes. Anyway, good question.
Very kind, brother. Appreciate that. If Ryan was going to be a priest in an order, which order would he be in? And then the same for Sean.
I mean, I kind of just I could see him. Well, actually, I'm going to change it up because he's in education and he's very passionate about it. So I could see him being a Jesuit.
Right I could not.
Ryan Milana, SJ.
I could not see that at all, but that's okay. I think Sean would fit in, any number of them, really. I would probably say Sean would be really good Benedictine. Alex, I would say.
Come on, is there really a question?
For sure, Jesuit. But if it couldn't be Jesuit, I actually think Alex would be a Franciscan.
That's what I think too, actually. Yeah.
I think you would tackle that just guns blazing.
Thanks, Doug.
Yeah.
Appreciate you, Oz.
I'd pray for you. I don't know if I can handle it, but I would pray for you.
They do some awesome stuff.
They do.
They do some awesome stuff. Yeah. All right. If Ryan was going to live anywhere that wasn't New Jersey or Alabama, where would he be living?
Wasn't New Jersey or Alabama. You liked Montana. I'd say Montana. If you could get over the snow and the cold.
I don't know if I could, actually. But Montana was awesome. I think the easiest answer, my mind went to I'd probably just move to Florida.
Totally. I get it, man. It's freaking Florida, dude.
But
Florida man gets
for entertainment, for entertainment purposes, Italy. Why not?
Okay.
Sounds awesome. I'd have to learn a brand new language, but.
What about Sean? Where's he at?
I think he's okay with the Italy answer. I also think he's okay with Florida.
We are pretty similar, so yeah.
Florida.
Come on.
He liked Montana too, guys. I don't know. Where would you live?
I mean, Italy's pretty sweet.
There you go. Sean did how many countries did you go on that cruise?
It was France, Italy, Croatia, Montenegro.
Yeah,
so
sounds
4 of them.
epic.
Nice.
Where would you live, Bozo? You can pick New Jersey if you really want to. You haven't lived there.
I have not lived there. I have not. I can't do the snow. I'm not built for it at all.
They got hammered with snow.
They sure did. Hammered. No thanks. So I would say I might think I'm crazy, but I'd probably go out and live in Phoenix, live out in Arizona.
You're insane.
I deal with the hot,
there for
but
a minute.
Yeah, it was great.
You took the easy
It
way
was
out.
110 degrees at 11 o'clock at night.
Probably
No, thank you.
105 or 115 or something like that. Yeah.
All right.
It's an awesome place. It really is.
I got one.
All right, hit me.
One Catholic pilgrimage that Alex wants to do before he dies. What would it be?
That Alex wants to do?
Mm-hmm.
He's already talked about this. Go see St. Ignatius's tomb, right? Didn't you mention that?
Oh, for sure. I mean, I definitely want to do that.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Up in Rome.
What about me?
What about you? I just think you would. I feel like you would love to go to Jerusalem, to Nazareth, to just walk where our Lord walked, and Saint Joseph. I know you're a big proponent of Saint Joseph, so yeah.
That's a great answer. My mind was not on that.
That's a really, really good answer. Yeah.
Alex and I were just talking about it the other day. How we're going to do the Camino one day and just backpack it. And we also talk about doing the Appalachian Trail. So we have a lot of stuff to do.
Yeah.
We're just gonna walk.
You're probably
apparently.
gonna have to take Mom on the Camino because she wants to go.
Yeah.
I can hang with Donna.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Donna's fast, man. Don't.
Oh, I don't
Can
count her.
walk.
I didn't say nothing about her pace. I just yeah.
That woman can move. She goes for a walk. And like, she's walking like 13-minute miles, which is a jog for some people.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
She's got those, we call it, that's the Disney walk.
Yeah, it is.
Your Disney walk's impossible, dude.
My Disney walk is probably a little quicker nowadays too.
I know.
I
believe
was
it.
lugging some carry-on luggage with me on that.
I'm gonna be
Last
eating your dust in Disney next week. So
I can't wait.
Patrick,
where am I going? You didn't answer for
oh
me.
yeah, where's Sean going? Going to Poland to see Faustina.
I was gonna say it's got to be Faustina.
I actually did look into that.
The
There you go.
Poland, you get the JP2 stuff included, and
Yeah,
Definitely.
that's definitely a good answer for me.
Yeah.
Polish, man. We had a
Dude.
roommate in college who was Polish. His family would get us like pierogies and kielbasa and all this other stuff, and just load up a deep freezer with just Polish comfort food. And it's like, God bless you.
Who could eat more growing up? Who could put it away better? Or was it pretty even, Sean?
I would say it's kind of even, but yeah,
It's still me.
I can still get after it, but no, our house, we were big on, I don't know, portions were just never really something we had to worry about because our metabolisms were so darn fast.
Yeah, I get that.
It's what it is. What about you? Like, were you were a wrestler though? Like you kind of.
Well, I could put it down, man.
Okay.
Could put it down. Gosh, sometimes now I'm like, man, I remember how much I could eat, and obviously I can't eat that now, but it was just I could eat so much. It was incredible.
I feel right at home though when I go and have dinner at Alex's house or he comes here because it's like he fixes a Milano bowl.
Oh, I come to the table for business.
That's right. Like,
Oh yeah. Oh
if you're
yeah.
hungry, it's like, no, I'm getting my nutrients here.
1,000%.
Pull up.
Yeah.
I remember, I forget, it was one of the first times we had dinner over there, and I was trying to be like nice and polite, and like I grabbed one little piece of meat, and I grabbed a decent scoop of this and scoop of that, and then Alex came to the table with a bowl full, just like all the way to the brim, and I was like, my guy, let's go. I'm definitely getting sick.
You should. It's like I don't care how much you want to eat. Like you eat what you want, but I'm going to eat what I want, no doubt. Yeah. Make enough food, people. When you have people over, make a lot of food. When you bring a pregnant or postpartum mom food, bring them a lot of food. A lot of food.
Like a Donna Milana sized
A lot of food.
and cheese. 3 crock pots worth. Right.
I wanted salmon.
Said it 3 times.
Said it 3 times.
I'm not going to say the rest of that.
That's fair.
Okay.
Sean, you knew this was coming. It's time for challenges.
I got one.
You already have one.
Love it. Let's go.
Yeah, this just came to me. So if you have a favorite saint, pray a novena to them.
Thanks for the homework. Appreciate that.
Done and done.
I just recently did a novena to Mary, the Untier of Knots. So
That's a great one.
A lesser known nickname, I believe.
Yep, for sure.
Didn't hear that one until like my most recent years of life.
yeah,
Pope Francis really got that one going.
That was pretty recent for me too. Yeah.
She's around here in this house. I've seen her before.
Yeah, I've got on our rosary hanger, I've got my buddy Chris Eversole, who we probably need to get back in the garage.
No doubt.
He was so gracious to make us a just absolutely stunning rosary hanger, and right there in the center is a little prayer card for the undoer of knots. So yeah, she's here.
Oh yeah. Lucy really appreciates her. she has helped her
I
out.
needed an undoer of knots for my stomach.
Stomach, yes.
Half marathons.
Y'all, Ryan and I were that runner stuff. Go from fight or flight to rest and digest. Amen.
I've been there too. It hurts.
We finished the race, went to Alex's, had an absolutely great breakfast. It was delicious. I think I cracked like one beer and drank not even half of it. And my
No.
stomach was like, you should go home. Like now, because you're going to need to be near a toilet for the next 12 hours.
See, at least I was smart enough. I did my half marathons in Hershey, Pennsylvania. I got chocolate. They literally threw chocolate at you in the 15th mile.
We did ours in Auburn, but ended up with Hershey. Wow.
I've been to Hershey Park. It's a good time, though, I have to say. Yeah.
I don't think they...
Sure, have wrestling camp, but in some break days in between, boom, there you go.
I don't think they run the race anymore, but it was fun.
That is fun. Yeah. Cool.
Alex?
All right.
Challenge me.
Don't I? Every week.
Yes.
Building off my post about my boy here, tell your macho guy friend you love him, who never says it. You got to say it. Even if you're someone who doesn't tell your friends you love them, tell your friends you love them. Just do it one time this week.
Alex never does that.
Never. I hate everybody.
Yeah, okay.
We believe you. Yeah, we definitely believe you.
I'm really sorry, everybody.
Confession, Alex.
That's right. Tell your friend you love him. Do it.
Okay. I've really got to do better about preparing challenges. Pretty miserable at it at this stage of our show. But let's do a little cheap here because I'm doing it already. But I want to see how many people can jump on it with me. 5 a.m. rosary for the next week. You can take Sunday off. Okay. 5 a.m. rosary. Get up, get it done, start your day. Or earlier, but I'm not doing any earlier.
It's okay.
So
You get to say the challenge in this garage.
the only leeway you get is if your sleeping child happens to wake up before 5 o'clock and won't let you pray it, which I don't know, it's happened 3-4 times for us, which is fun. You actually try to brave through it and you're just like, well, we could just finish this decade. No, I can barely do it. I know my wife can't listen to it.
Yeah.
So, there are your challenges. Buy one of these cool t-shirts. Go to Word on Fire. All the stuff we tell you to do every week. Most importantly, keep listening. Share our show. Click subscribe. Click follow. Give us a rating, preferably 5 stars, but whatever you feel like. But yeah, guys, we just, again, super blessed to be here. Sean, thank you for your vulnerability, for your willingness to talk to 2 men that are so much better looking than you. That
it was intimidating.
I know.
I have to say.
Yeah. Yeah, all of y'all have our prayers. Please pray for us. Pray for our families, our weaknesses, and guys, Lent. We're all in it together. Keep taking it very seriously and offering things up. What you got?
Thank you for being here, Sean.
Yeah,
I love you, brother.
Well, thanks y'all for having me. God bless.
You have our prayers, everybody. We appreciate y'all. Night.
Now you got to sing the theme song.
Is that Bruno Mars?
Slap-a-dot,
Slap-a-dot, best man.